February 17th, 2018, at the New York Toy Fair, Hasbro announced a new project, Haslab, starting off their initiative with the Jabba the Hutt's sail barge, or the Katana, from Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Fast forward now, 6 years later, Hasbro has had, I believe, 22 Haslab projects, 18 of them being funded, and 4 of them being sent to the Shadow Realm for all eternity. And to me, it sort of feels like they kind of lost their luster. They lost the fun of it. What made it so special those 6 years ago when it first started. And I think even Hasbro agrees with that, because the Marvel Legends team has said there will be no Haslab project this year. And instead they're moving towards a kind of made-to-order concept, starting off with the Dragon Man figure, which was announced and shown off, which looks very good, by the way. It's a very good-looking figure. Now, with that in mind, we do have a Ghostbusters Haslab, which will be happening later this year, I believe, at New York Comic Con, so we should see that next month. But I really want to talk about what happened with the Rattler, specifically. This is a follow-up video, sort of, to the video I made recently about the PulseCon, which, if you want to go watch that, click the annotation right above my head right here to go watch that video. But for those of you who watched my video, you'll know that I was unhappy, less than pleased with how they went about talking about the Rattler, or I should say not talking about it at all, because they didn't even reference it, even though it is their best-selling G.I. Joe Haslab with like 20,000 something backers, I think it ended with, which was the most they'd gotten to that point, which was crazy, especially for how expensive it was. And I'm just disappointed they didn't mention it, and I feel like Hasbro is kind of moving away, or trying to move away from the Haslab concept as a whole. But before we get too deep into this concept, let's take a look back briefly at how it all started. Like I said, the Katana was the very first project that they launched, and it sold super quick. It moves back so fast, which showed that people clearly have an interest in these high quality, expensive, big projects that you can't sell at a Toys R Us when they were still around, or a Walmart, or any store like that you have to pay premium prices to get a premium set. So with that one being back so well, I mean, how do they follow that up? I mean, how do you follow that up? You have to find something big, you have to make something huge, like something planet-sized, something massive. So how did they do that? I love Cookie Monster. I love Cookie Monster as much as the next guy. I love Sesame Street, Kermit, Elmo, everything. They're great. But that was $300. That was $300. And nobody's going to buy that. I'm sorry, Cookie Monster, I love you. Nobody's going to buy that. No, that's not going to sell. Now, they very quickly realized that that was a failure on their part, because it failed drastically. So they very quickly showed off the next Haslab, which is a Transformers one, which was at the time, and I think still now, the biggest Transformer they've ever made, which was Unicron. And it was huge, it was a big deal. It was like, the Katana was their first shot, but this was like their first like big showing of what this could be. And it was very obvious because it was $575. Now, that Cookie Monster price was bad, $300, but this blew that out of the water. $575 for a big ball, like a big sphere.
It's spherical! Spherical!
But they really started to get the handle on it when they moved to their next project, which was the Sentinel. Now, this one was a complete smash, no pun intended. It blew all of them out of the water. It sold so well, and they held its tears, and it still is one of the best looking ones that they've made, even though it did have some quality control issues. I didn't get that one, but I've heard it has QC issues. It ended with 21,000, give or take, out of the minimum 6,000, which again shows Hasbro that people want this. People really, really want this. They really want this like big premium collector's set thing that they can only get once because FOMO is real. But I mean, after that, they really started the ball wrong. They were putting out banger after banger after banger after. Okay, yeah, so the Rancor and the spin your lightsaber did not do well, but ignoring those, they had a pretty good run. And even now, I think it's still doing very good. Vintage Collection just got a couple. Transformers is doing theirs. G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends. They have board games. They did that like twice. They did like board games. I mean, I don't know why that would be a thing that you want to just make the board game. Which brings me to what I, and probably all of you here, care about, which is the G.I. Joe Haslabs. The Hiss Tank was a massive success. I didn't get it. I wish I had. But I didn't even know it was happening at that time. I was too deep into Marvel Legends. I didn't even know that was happening. The Sky Striker, which was a success. The Dragonfly, which I did get, was a massive success. And the Rattler, which I also got, was a big success. They were huge, great, just successful products. And look, the Rattler cost $375. And at a going price for that Rattler, at $375, not including shipping and handling and tax and everything else, they had 28,096 backers. They made roughly, again this is an estimate, $10,536,000. That is if you can't count, that's 8 digits. That is more than any of you watching these videos have ever made in your entire life. We, myself, and any other backer made them $10 million over, probably closer to 11, but made them over $10 million on that project alone, mind you. And all we get is a good job, guys, on a social media post. Your patches will be here next year. Now, this may sound like ungrateful rambling, which it kind of is a little bit. I know. But with a project like this, as huge as it is, and as expensive as it is, I feel like an acknowledgement of their achievement wouldn't be a bad thing. I feel like it would be something that's kind of deserved. You know, these projects are made on their, made because of social media. Like, if this didn't exist, nobody would know about it. You can't put that in a newsletter. Like, these projects exist because of diehard fans who care about, like, crap like PulseCon or whatever. People who want this stuff. So I feel like if you really want to make your fans feel like the stuff that they're buying is great and that you respect them as a consumer, is to talk about it, reference it. They didn't even bring it up in PulseCon. That's what got me talking about this. They didn't bring it up once. They didn't say, hey, it's backed, great job. Hey, it hit this number, great job. We have some promo photos, whatever, anything at all, an update. There was none of that. But I think Hasbro might just be getting sick of this concept as a whole. The production costs, the year-long waits. I think Hasbro might be getting sick of all the work that goes into doing this, to making these big, giant projects. And especially after some of them fail, and some of them don't meet all their stretch goals, and stuff like that. I feel like it might be affecting their bottom line in a way that they don't like. It's obviously making them a lot of money, but it might not be making them the amount of money that they want to be made. Because this is a company. This is a company that is funded all by us and by how much money we give them. And if we're not giving them enough, they're gonna. No, that's not our fault. I think that they are starting to realize that they can actually get away with putting this stuff at retail. Like the Vamp, the Stinger, like those sold great. The Vamp was an exclusive to start, but then the Stinger wasn't. You can find those in like Amazon, website, like shopping websites and stuff, like Big Bad Toy Store, Antique Earth. Like you can get those in other places, which makes me think that they're realizing that there is obviously a market here, especially for G.I. Joe fans, to get this stuff. And I think that the companies like Ramen Toys, who are making these big tanks, and the Hell Charger, and the trucks, and the Jeeps, and the vans, or whatever, I think it's showing them that they can do this without having to go through the process of making it a Haslab. Now, do I think that this is the end of a Haslab? I don't think so. I think it's going to be around for a while, because it's too much money, and obviously people still try. And the Ghostbusters one's coming up soon. That's probably going to sell well, because shockingly, the Ghostbusters one always seemed to kind of blow the others out of the water. I think there's a very quiet majority of Ghostbusters fans who will just buy anything that's Ghostbusters related. But I think we saw its payday come and pass when we were getting Haslabs like 4 or 5 times per year. But now we get them 2 or 3 times a year, which I think is better for collectors, because it ended up being like 1,500 on Haslabs alone. And people buy multiples. Insane people who have too much room buy multiples. But I'm just curious, now that we're near the end of this video, how many of you have backed Haslabs? How many of you backed specific ones? Which ones have you backed? Do you like the Haslab project module concept? Do you like the premium price? Obviously price, but do you like the fact that you can get these exclusive things that they would not be able to sell on a card, at least that's what they say, in retail? Do you like that? Or are you more fine with them going, okay, we're not going to do as many big Haslabs and just start doing made-to-order things like the Dragon Man, or to a lesser extent, the Vamp, which was not made to order, it was just limited numbers. I think we're going to start seeing more of that, honestly. I think after the Rattler, I think at New York Comic Con, for G.I. Joe specifically, we're going to be seeing more vehicles, because there are so many G.I. Joe vehicles that they haven't made, and that they will definitely be wanting to make soon. They've talked about how they can't make a classified Sky Striker because it'd be too big. I don't buy that. I think them doing the Rattler was a test to see if people would buy it. If people bought it, I think Sky Striker is probably inevitability at some point. But I think next year's going to be the MOAB out of them all. But who knows? So this video feels a lot like rambling, which it is, because it's late and I had to film this video. And I just want to talk. I like talking. I like talking to you guys. Just like, even if you don't talk back, I like just starting a conversation and hearing what you have to think. And if you like this, let me know, because I would be more than happy to do stuff like this. I was thinking about streaming, maybe at some point, stream that new G.I. Joe game that came out. I was a beta tester for that. I haven't brought it up, but that was fun. Yeah, if you guys like this, just let me know. Again, talk down below. Tell me if you guys backed any Haslabs, if you backed the Rattler, and what you thought about it. And if you thought the patches sucked, because they're not great. I don't like them that much. But there could be worse tiers. There could be cardboard. That Rancor sucked. I'm sorry if people wanted that thing sucked. So yeah, if you like this, let me know down below. And if you didn't like it, you can let me know down below and then leave. I appreciate any interaction at all in this, even if it is something that you don't like. Even if you think this video is pointless, just let me know. I mean, I don't mind. So yeah, if you liked it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know there also. And I will see you whenever I see you next. I have reviews, like actual toy reviews filmed, and I just need to upload them. I'm trying to lower the amount of uploads and spread them out a little bit more evenly. But yeah, if there's anything you guys want me to review, let me know. I love G.I. Joe. It's my favorite thing. My favorite toy brand. I get this right here. I have this right here. So yeah, if you like that, let me know. The Dragonfly is supposed to be shipping soon, which I'm very excited for. So I'll be doing a bunch of videos on that. I'll probably even do videos for each individual tier, because they're basically their own individual figures. But we'll see. So yeah, I will see you next time. This ending has gone on long enough. Yo, Joe.